put the lights down. Hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of MGR Unplugged. David, how are you today?
Great, as
We have
always.
a lot of things going on. I bet you are very happy. What the heck is going on with Bitcoin?
Just what I always expected.
Dude, it's amazing. It's like I have a crypto app on my phone. And yesterday, I think every couple hours was telling me Bitcoin 20,000, then Bitcoin 21,000, Bitcoin 22,000. Last night, Bitcoin 23,000. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, probably by the time people watch this, it could be 25. Who knows?
As an owner of Bitcoin, you must be very excited. You are rich on paper.
It's one of those things that, listen, it took a lot of conviction. I held when it was all the way at 4,000 and I was still buying down there and, pays off.
It does. I mean, I don't own Bitcoin as much as you try to convince me to buy it.
His favorite thing is 12,000. I'll buy on the dip. 14th. I'll buy on the dip. Here we are, 23,000. Still, I'll buy on the dip.
No,
okay.
But if you remember, no, actually that's not true because you remember it went up to almost 20, I think, right before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving it went down to
Right.
17 or something.
Yep.
And then everybody's like, oh, well, it's coming down to normal stuff.
And you still didn't buy the dip.
And I didn't. And then it went back up again
And
to
now
20.
it's back to 23. You still haven't bought the dip. I mean,
yeah, I will buy the next dip.
yeah. The next dip is going to be when it goes to 40 and then back down to 30 and you say, okay, now I'll buy.
Well, how high do you think it'll go now? I mean, what is the reason anyways? Is there any particular reason? I mean, I know one of the things is that more and more of the traditional financial institutions, which before were totally opposed to Bitcoin and saying that it was just speculation and all that stuff, now they are starting to make comments saying, oh, we see Bitcoin going to 300,000 or 400,000. And I think we discussed, I think 3 weeks ago, we had the crypto episode here where we went at length about the different currencies on the blockchain. But one of the things we said is that PayPal and other companies that are known for taking payments are accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum in particular to make transactions more common, which is making people think that, oh, Bitcoin is a more legit way to, complete transactions and own money, basically. So, but aside from that, what is it that is causing Bitcoin? I've never seen anything go up 3,000-4,000 points or percentage-wise is pretty much 15-20% in just about 48 hours or 24 hours. So any particular event or news event that is caused this or?
Not like some specific thing. No, I mean, it's just, I don't think there's a lot of sellers out there and there's lots of people who want to get in and that's it.
That is true.
And that's going to drive the price up. I don't think there's a lot of people who are looking to sell large amounts of Bitcoin, but there are lots of people who are trying to buy large amounts of Bitcoin and that's it. I mean, it's supply and demand.
Is there it's a kind of ledger that you can see who is buying large amounts of Bitcoin? Is it fund managers? Is it individual hedge funds? For that kind of move to go from 18, 19 to 23.
Yeah, basically the market cap went from like 320 to 420
right
in a week. Basically, an extra 100 billion.
So that's not because I buy a Bitcoin or somebody buys two Bitcoins.
No. Obviously, it's because institutions are buying it. Yeah, that's where the big money is.
And Bitcoin doesn't have a ledger or something where it says who owns.
It does. You can see the wallets now. You don't always know who owns the wallets, but it's a public ledger, so you can see what wallets own what.
Okay.
And are buying.
But again, it's not just Bitcoin. I think Ethereum, which I do own, is also pretty much matching what Bitcoin is doing for the most part, as far as.
Yeah, I mean, Ethereum's up to 650 or so now.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly today, but yeah, it was basically matching too. So, yeah, that's incredible. I
still remember the days when Ethereum was $20.
Yeah,
mean, it's
had quite the ride. To be honest, I'm still down on Ethereum. I think I need to check again, but I bought it like 3 years ago, And that's when it started like
I didn't. I
350.
remember when it was at 20. The majority of my purchases of Ethereum were in the 200 or 300 range, so I'm not up that much on Ethereum.
That's when I started in the 300 range, and I think I went as high as, unfortunately, 700. Before it took a hit, it went down to basically nothing, and now it's back up to.
Wasn't it back down to double digits at one point, like $80 or something?
I
I
ignored
don't
it
remember.
for a while. It was depressingly down, and I said, okay, fuck
Yeah.
it. And now it's back up to mid 600s, and I think. I mean, I don't care. I'm not gonna sell or anything, but I think in my mind I had like, I think I said it needs to get 700 for me to kind of break even again to what I had, and so it's getting there. So that's good. On the other hand, the other ones that I own, like the IOTA and Neo or some other very unknown cryptocurrencies now are. I mean,
some of those just failed.
Yeah,
frankly.
exactly. It was a lot of speculation, and you bet on the horse, and the horse just fell apart. So. But like you said, I mean, you only need one good investment to make up for all the shitty ones that you have. So those are scraps right now. So, anyways, that's just. But again, I mean, you can see how the CNBCs and all these financial networks are now, again, focusing on Bitcoins. There's tons of podcasts now talking about Bitcoin and conversation, and that brings the trending line.
But what's
higher.
funny is, I told you this before the podcast, it's not the same as 2017. In 2017, I remember college kids I knew were like talking about Bitcoin and stuff, and everybody was talking about Bitcoin. And oh my God, I don't see that yet. I'm not saying we won't get there again, where all of a sudden everybody's talking about Bitcoin, and maybe as it's now continuing to do all-time highs, we'll see that. But I don't think we're even there yet.
We're not, but the other thing is that in 2017, crypto in general was fairly new as far as expanding. Not new itself, but it was
the first kind of major exposure to the world.
Right. It was the first thing that people had no clue what it was blockchain, had no clue what cryptocurrency meant versus the fiat currency.
Most people still don't know.
Yeah, that is true too, but at least more people have heard about it for 3-4 years.
Yeah,
and
most people, I think, if you ask them, at least in maybe, it depends who you ask, but yeah, like young people, if you ask them, do you know what Bitcoin is? They probably know what it is. Well, right. I don't know if they could explain the mechanics, but do they know what it is?
But they've heard about it,
yes.
Yeah. And then they also, now they have also more of a trend line saying, okay, what has it done in the last 5 years? Okay, well, you have the growth, then you have the peak that we had before, almost at 20 in 2017, or 19 and a half or something, and then it totally collapsed. And then it started recovering again. So it was overbought, obviously, before. And then people that needed the liquidity ended up selling it because they basically mortgaged their own lives. Whether it's, like you say, college kids actually mortgaged their own college loans and stuff to get Bitcoin. And then they had to sell. And they lost.
Know when I knew last time that it was a bubble? When I knew, I was like, oh, this is over.
When college kids that know shit were talking about it.
This is when a guy who I was friends with back in like middle school that I hadn't talked to for years,
all of a sudden was an expert,
who got like kicked out of school for selling weed, and then he's like he never went to college.
Who do you hang out with?
He was still selling weed, and this is when I knew it was a bubble. I still remember this. I told my friends, I was like, yeah, we're in a bubble. It's time to get out. He posts on his story a picture. This is how smart weed dealers are, by the way. They just post on their Instagram stories pictures of the weed they have. But he posts a picture of like the weed he's selling, like so people know, oh, I'm back in stock, I have more weed. But then also next to it, Bitcoin 18K or something.
Yeah.
And that's when I thought, this is a bubble.
Like they said, when
I'm out.
When you start getting financial advice from your taxi driver.
Yeah. When your weed dealer starts talking about Bitcoin, that's when you know it's time to get out.
On a certain stock and your cab driver is telling you to buy this,
Yes.
It's like, okay, I'm tired to...
That's when I knew. I said, the guy who posts openly that he is committing felonies on his Instagram story is talking about Bitcoin, I think we're in a bubble.
Yeah, but obviously you didn't get out. You kept it.
Well, yeah, I stopped buying. I never sold any Bitcoin, but yeah, when it was like going crazy, 18, 19K, 20K almost last time, I stopped buying because I was like, this is nuts.
Yeah. But let me ask you something. We also had this conversation recently when I was trying to consolidate my exchanges and wallets and all that stuff. And I went through, or you helped me, we went through a little bit of a hassle trying to get all the things synchronized again. But don't you think, maybe this is like a double-edged sword type thing, but don't you think if the maintenance, transactions and everything was a little easier for the average consumer, these cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, Ethereum, the more relevant ones, will be traded more frequently? I mean, it's similar to a stock market or a broker that you have TD Ameritrade or Robinhood or whatever. You basically transfer funds from your bank account to them, and you have this direct wire transfer. So you say, okay, I'm gonna move $10,000 there to buy stock, and then you have it there. And then when the opportunity comes and you find a good opportunity to buy stock, you buy it, and you buy it from the money and all that stuff, and you go back and forth. And in the meantime, you have a balance margin or whatever is on the stock. You can see it easily. With crypto, is much more difficult. For the blockchain reason.
It's a lot easier these days.
It's easier now, but still it's not that easy. I mean, it's like
I wouldn't say buying it is any harder than buying a stock. Ooh. In fact, I wouldn't buy your Bitcoin on Robinhood because they don't let you move it, which defeats the whole purpose of buying Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I mistakenly did that back when Robinhood first introduced cryptocurrencies. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin on it because I had funds in there, and I said, I'll just buy some Bitcoin. And I realized they don't let you move it out of Robinhood like you can with Coinbase. So it's just stuck with them. I was like, what the fuck is the point of this?
What do? You can sell it only?
Yeah, it's just you can trade it, but you can't move it. So you never own your own Bitcoin. That's the whole point of Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, you own it on paper because it's the same thing with the stock.
I mean, you fuck about owning it on paper.
But if you own 100 shares of Disney, you can't really, in theory, move them. You sell them or you buy them.
Yeah, but it's different. The whole point of Bitcoin is that you own your Bitcoin.
That's my point.
So to buy it, right? To buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, for example, it's no different than Robinhood, which tons of people do already.
Right.
Or any other broker.
But how many people leave the Bitcoins on or within their Coinbase account, or they move into a wallet?
I would say the majority of people it depends who. So people who are like
average consumers. But I
don't know how many average people own Bitcoin.
Well, I think more.
I think still the majority of people who own Bitcoin are kind of I don't know how you would say it.
Institutional investors or
no, not just institution. Institutions don't buy it differently, but like people who have been in crypto for years, I doubt any of them, or I mean not any of them, but majority of them keep their money in wallets. They don't keep it on an exchange.
Okay, so exactly. So they don't keep it on the exchange, which is the Coinbases. They move it to a wallet. Right. And the thing is that back then you had different wallets for different currencies. Like you had Bitcoin, you need a specific wallet. You had Ethereum, you need maybe another wallet.
You still do.
Right.
But exactly. But most of the time the wallet provider, or depends if you have a software wallet, hardware wallet, whatever. But most of them now accept multiple currencies. But yes, you have a different wallet, so to speak. It's like a different. In layman's terms, it's like you have a different bank account for each currency. You can't have Ethereum and Bitcoin.
Right, but that's what
in the same way you couldn't have euros and dollars in the same bank account. You know?
But that's the confusing thing, because if I think of my digital wallet, I have a wallet with my money, and I can put in my wallet, I can put euros, I can put dollars.
You can't have a bank account with multiple
Not a bank
currencies.
account. I can have my wallet. I put in my pocket, so to speak.
Yeah, you can have but you can have. So, like, if you have a,
are we talking wallets or accounts? That's the thing, because the name wallet is where it's confusing. I understand that I have money in the bank and I put it in my wallet. Okay, so that's the exchange. That's the Coinbase.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it in layman's terms.
Right.
People do not keep their money in their wallet, their physical wallet. Okay, you might have some change, but you don't keep your life savings in your pocket. Okay, most people have bank accounts.
These days, with the little money you get on the bank, some people have it under their pillows.
Okay, beautiful. Most people use accounts. First of all, most people don't own multiple currencies anyways. Most people just have their local currency. But if you have it's like if you have a wallet provider, most of those wallet providers accept multiple currencies.
Let me ask you a particular wallet, if I can interrupt you for a second. One of them is Jax, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, one of the more popular ones.
Right. That one accept?
Yeah, they accept a ton of different
They
currencies.
accept now different currencies.
You just have different, basically, accounts within it, so to speak.
But when
because
you
you
open,
can't send Bitcoin to an Ethereum wallet. You know what I'm saying?
obviously, yeah.
Right, and but all it is if you have a Jax wallet, like they use a phone app, then you just have basically different keys for each wallet, and then one key gives you your Ethereum, one gives you and you just have addresses. So if you just want to send money to your Bitcoin Jax wallet, you just send to that address.
Right. So my point is that it's a little more complicated for the person that is not very
slightly, but also
tech savvy.
Yes, I mean, is it as simple as banking?
Right.
No, but you have to have a balance between
simplicity and
simplicity
protection,
and the freedom, right? And
yeah,
the reason
and
why
fraud alerts
to me the biggest negative of crypto is that if you move something to a wallet and you don't have your key,
exactly,
it's gone.
Right.
You're fucked.
That's done.
But
and I know people that have lost their money.
But you also, I mean, any wallet you use will tell you 50 times when you sign up in big bold red letters.
Oh yeah.
Never lose this key. It's not like they don't tell you that.
The cigarette companies that tell you don't smoke, you're gonna die, but people do it.
Well, you know what? If you still smoke and you die from lung cancer, you knew the risk. But
no, these days you die of coronavirus even if you have lung cancer.
Not the topic.
That's yeah, no, they warn you in advance. Yes, about the thing, but still, I mean, okay, so
it's no different than like, okay, you can keep all your money in your mattress, but if you have a house fire and the money burns, it's gone. Sorry.
No, I totally understand that, but the thing is that now, as you can see, banks are still trying to get people to do banking online, especially more in these times. I mean,
there are alternatives, though, I'll say. So if you don't want to do that, so the benefit of that is then you own it. And there's no trusted third parties, which is the whole thing of Bitcoin, right? The whole thing is you do not have a trusted third party. You don't need a middleman, an intermediary, nothing.
Or a bank for that matter.
Right, you don't need anybody. You can own your own money. And if you want to give money to somebody else, you can send it directly peer-to-peer. You don't need a bank. You don't need to make a wire transfer, none of that. But that's the positive of it. But if you don't want to do that, and lots of people don't want to do that for different reasons. For example, lots of high net worth individuals use custodians. Because the custodian is like a bank or a trust. It's not a bank. It's more like a trust. And those custodians,
for a fee,
will hold your Bitcoin. But it means that if somebody, because the other negative too is in the same way that if you just have a bunch of money in your wallet, in your pocket, and somebody comes up to you with a gun, says, give me your money. Okay, well, hopefully you give them their money, but if not, you might get shot.
It depends. If he's a little punk, I'll just pick his ass.
The negative side is, in theory, somebody could come with a gun and be like, hey, give me your address, give me your key, basically, to your Bitcoin wallet, right? Somebody could do that. Now, if you are not a super wealthy individual, you're probably not a high target. But if you're somebody who is going to own many millions of Bitcoin, you want to have protection, and that's what the custodians do. And then
well, do you know about approximately what the fee they charge for that?
It's not much.
It's like a fund manager type thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's a small fee, but okay. They charge that. But then then you have a trusted third party. Right, so that's the negative of it, and then the other like institutions, obviously, they do it in many different ways, and there's actually lots of startups and companies that are trying to specifically help institutions to make institutional solutions for cryptocurrency. So different companies do it different ways. There's Bitcoin ETFs, which I think are kind of bullshit, but lots of people use them.
I was going to ask you, there's ETFs, right? But they're just Bitcoins or crypto in general? Like you can have a basket.
There's Bitcoin. I think there's Ethereum ETFs.
But they're not combined. They're not like crypto ETF.
Not that I'm aware of.
They say we. I
mean, there might be. I don't know. But for the most part, people just buy. Like, if you want to go on.
But why do you think it's not good?
Because it's not.
You take it as an investment per se.
It's not. You don't own the Bitcoin. You're relying on.
Well, yeah, but it's
whoever
the same
your
thing.
broker is.
But what's the difference between that and I make another comparison again that you don't like? But what's the difference between that and an ETF, a gold ETF, where you have
gold ETF has the same vulnerability
Right.
Right.
You have different miners.
I have a gold trust. Right. When I invest in gold, I don't own physical gold. I don't have the means to do it because I don't want to have a fucking vault and worry about that. So as of right now, I own gold, but I own it through a gold trust. But what's it called? A trust. I'm trusting. Now, obviously.
So that would be like a custodian?
Yeah, basically. I invest with a massive gold trust that owns billions and billions of dollars worth of gold and manages people who are way wealthier than I am. But I have my money with them for my gold holdings. And I am trusting them, and I pay them a small fee for that. I understand the risk. In my situation, it's okay. I'm okay with the risk, and I understand. But preferably, I would own my own physical gold. I just don't have the means.
Right.
For that.
What was the difference between that and basically the crypto trust?
It's basically the same thing.
Okay.
I mean, the ETFs. Custodian is different. Custodian is fine. Listen, if I was worth $100 million and I wanted to buy millions worth of Bitcoin, I'd probably use a custodian too. You know, the ETFs are different because the ETFs have some of them aren't even fully correlated to Bitcoin. And they don't even move the same as Bitcoin does. And I wouldn't buy a Bitcoin ETF. Definitely not.
Okay. All right. So
Interactive Brokers has a Bitcoin ETF, but it's only 92% correlated, which is terrible.
How come not? Why is that?
Because of the way they manage it. But the whole point of Bitcoin or any of these currencies is that you own it. And the ETFs, you don't own any Bitcoin.
Right.
You own an ETF, which means nothing. Just a piece of paper, and you're trusting the Interactive Brokers is not going to get hacked or is not going to go out of business or any of those things.
All right. So back to the wallet functionality. So I can have let's just stick to excuse me, Jax. And so with Jax, I can have all my crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other one, in my Jax wallet. I just need different keys to move one, move the other. Is that how it works? Okay. And those keys are one-time keys. That is just your password, so to speak, to get there for each of them. And that's the one that you cannot lose at all, whatever it is.
It's not recoverable because they don't. Basically, what Jax does for Jax, people could look it up, but it's one of the more popular wallets. It's a phone app wallet, but the benefit of it is that everything's stored locally. So it's stored on your phone. They don't have a database.
Right. So it cannot be
keys.
hacked because they're not responsible. They pass it on to you.
It's the same as if anybody uses Google Authenticator.
Right.
That's local on your device. That's not on a Google database somewhere that could be hacked. That's the point of it.
So I guess the vulnerability is that you need to save those keys and everything somewhere.
Yes.
And then it puts the onus on you to save it somewhere. It's okay, you're going to have it in a little piece of paper in your wallet or something. It's obviously it's not.
I wouldn't do it like that, but you could do it like that.
Well, first of all, those keys are a string of alphanumeric number keys on characters, basically. It's very hard to retype. So normally you want to have it somewhere that is, you can copy and paste maybe, or that's also a good thing. I mean, you're not going to memorize the key. Unless you're some fucking genius like you.
Some people do.
I know.
Some people do.
I can't believe you'd memorize the router password. It's just a 20-something.
Listen, it's not that hard. Anybody who's ever read the book Moonwalking with Einstein knows exactly what I'm talking about. The memory palace thing works. I read that book and I gave it a shot.
Yeah,
and I remember I memorized
you
the
try
first...
that with a palace or a house or an apartment, I think.
Yeah,
it's no longer going to be available. So
it's called the memory palace.
Yeah,
and it works actually. It's really easy. I memorized 100 digits of pi. It was actually really easy.
Yeah,
it wasn't that hard.
For how long?
Yeah, obviously if you don't practice it. But when I was practicing,
you don't visit the palace frequently.
Right, but if you do it like I was doing it every day, and then I could just do it.
No, I remember that because I quizzed you.
And they have memory competitions, right?
I quizzed you a few times.
And people will just memorize thousands of digits of pi.
I know, but what's the usefulness of that?
No, I mean, it's not that useful.
I can ask Siri and say, give me 20 digits of pi.
It goes back to, not to have a whole tangent, but it goes back to old Greek traditions before they wrote things. The orators, like the Odyssey, for example, the Iliad and the Odyssey, those were spoken stories.
Yeah.
And you would have these great orators who memorized the books, not that there were books back then, and told the whole story. And then finally we wrote them down. Homer wrote them down.
Yeah.
Homer gets a lot of credit He just wrote down the
You mean
story.
Simpson? Oh, the original one.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of credit too.
Anyways,
yeah, with the wallet,
side
back to the original question, the wallet and the keys. So you had to save those keys. Okay, let me ask you specifically.
well,
how
the
do you
same way
save?
that you need to save a password.
Where do you save your keys? No kidding. What's the best way to save those keys?
Whatever way.
It's a typical Excel document that you save on your computer, and then everything is only as strong as your weakest link or your weakest thing. So you have all this super encrypted thing and keys and complicated strings of passwords.
I don't want to
and
say
stuff.
how I save my
No. I
keys,
don't want to say you, but
but I would do it in a way. It's hard to say without saying what I do.
okay. Well, don't tell me what you do, but let me ask you more specific questions. Do you trust these password apps?
No, fuck no. Are you crazy?
Okay, well, that's
no,
a
I
super-
definitely don't keep it.
The
I
OnePass-
use LastPass for a lot of
Yeah,
things.
LastPass,
But
one-
even with LastPass, so I use LastPass for all my passwords that I don't really care that much about, basically, right? Because you have a million passwords for a million
For your
things.
Fry shopping account?
For all my different things that I don't really care about. I'm like, okay, yeah, if I get hacked, it sucks, but whatever. But even for my bank accounts, I just memorize my passwords. I don't save them anywhere for my bank accounts. I don't.
Yeah, but okay, I understand that. I memorized most of the ones that I use more frequently, which is like you said, bank accounts. But the challenge is, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm in a
a
car accident or something.
No,
and all of a sudden I have a memory lapse,
No, I don't have my.
and I want to tell
have,
somebody
I
where.
don't have my wallet memorized. My keys memorized. No.
Right. So how if again, I'm trying to get our
people
millions of listeners to giving
People
advice.
can use their own creative means.
Some people don't even know social security number. They had to look at it. So
What?
some people don't even memorize their social security number.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying I don't have mine memorized. I have too many.
Right. Well, not to mention that it's super hard to memorize.
Yeah, I have too many. I mean, I could memorize them, but no, I don't memorize.
So if you don't trust this OnePass, LastPass, whatever password apps that are out there, so then just people need to figure out a way that keep you safe.
Yes.
Okay.
I have. Again, I don't want to say it because
Can
I
you
don't
tell
wanna,
me off the record?
I could tell you after the off air. Yes, I'll tell you
Okay.
what I do.
Well, he
but,
tells me, I'll tell everybody.
Okay.
Just follow my tweets. Not kidding.
But
No.
basically,
I'm curious.
I'll put it very vaguely. I have multiple backups, basically.
Okay.
Offline secure. That's what I have. Offline secure backups. That's what I
Okay.
have. So that if one backup, something happened to it, I have multiple backups.
All right.
That's what I would recommend. But offline,
But do you have it in your will or something so somebody can,
no.
when you
I'm,
die?
I'm young. I don't have. If I die, fuck the world. Okay, sorry. I don't care. I'm dead.
Well,
when
but-
I have kids, we'll have that conversation. But that's far away.
What about?
I need to find a wife first. Okay, so that's
Well, not necessarily.
hopefully.
You need to find a woman. A wife is another step. All right. We're no moralists here, so I'll just keep it that way. All right, good. So
Basically, when I die,
you're gonna die poor.
listen, it'll be like a treasure hunt. Like people used to look for lost gold. People can find my lost bitcoins. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they're in the fucking cloud, whatever they are. They just need to find your password
People can
key.
find my lost passwords. They're
But
out there.
in all seriousness, I mean, you probably know people that bought Bitcoin
Not
or
personally,
something,
but yes, of course, I've heard stories
and they
on the internet.
and
like
they
everybody
never
else.
found their keys, and they know they have like 10 bitcoins,
But
which is
most
now.
of those stories are from back in the day.
No, I know pretty smart people that I know, and I need their names, but I know smart people that are public figures that they have public said, yeah, I had 10 bitcoins that I bought them back in the days, and I lost my key. I don't know how to get them anymore.
I agree.
And they
It's-
bought them when they were 50, and now they're 20,000, 23. So that's about $250,000 that they lost.
I agree it's not a perfect solution, but again, there's pros and cons, and things get better too. I mean,
I'm thinking like biometrics or shit like that. I mean,
no, I wouldn't do biometrics.
facial recognition or something.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
No,
Well, somebody's gonna cut your face and cut your head, and
it's too easy to fake that stuff.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's move on from any other comments on why Bitcoin is crazy. 23,167 as we record right now. 23,167.
It's beautiful.
You're not selling for sure.
No,
What is your target range? When is your stop loss a number?
I've thought about it. When Bitcoin passes, which might be pretty soon, I don't know. I mean, if it were to go into the trillions of market cap, so that would make, like, right now it's 400 something billion market cap. If it were to be like, say,
all right, so double the volume.
No. So if it were to hit like 2 trillion, will be around like
2 trillion. That would be about 100,000.
Around 100,000. Around 100,000, I may sell a little bit and just cash out a little bit. I wouldn't sell the whole thing, but I may take some profits. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But we'll see. No, I wouldn't sell anytime soon. I wouldn't sell less than 100,000.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. I mean,
that's not investment advice. That's me personally. I fully understand the risk. I have a diversified portfolio, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. I typically keep certain percentages in different asset groups, and because Bitcoin's grown so much, its percentage is pretty massive in my portfolio.
Well,
now
that's what they say. The famous thing about rebalancing your portfolio. One piece of the pie of your portfolio is growing so much.
Normally, I would rebalance, but in this case, I don't want to rebalance. I'm gonna let that baby ride.
Well, the other way you can rebalance is like buying more of the other ones, so they kind of keep.
Yeah, I could.
But anyways, I totally understand. So, okay, well, let's move on from Bitcoin. The other thing that I wanted to talk about today, and it's another conversation we had now, that sports, the fall season of the new leagues are starting, and then you found yourself in a little predicament because your beloved...
Oh, the streaming?
The streaming.
Yeah, can somebody figure out... I'm so... like.
Well, let me introduce the topic first,
all right,
okay?
All right.
Jesus, you're so excited. You just jump on it. So we're talking about, we became more famous in the beginning for discussing streaming video wars back in the days. I mean, as far as 2 years ago or something. And when all the different streaming services were coming, and obviously the Netflix were already there, but
I want to say that I said Disney Plus was going to kill it like a year before it ever launched. And I was so right.
Well,
it's not even funny.
Let me get back to the stocks for a second. Since you said that.
More bullish on Disney Plus than anybody.
Disney.
I have the records.
Disney, which full disclosure,
the receipts.
You and I own, was as down as 90s not too long ago, when all the theme parks were closed and the hotels were closed and the COVID shit and all that stuff. So obviously nobody goes anywhere. They're not spending money seeing Mickey Mouse and all that stuff. Well, now Disney said, okay, fuck that stuff. We're going to concentrate on streaming video, on streaming programs and subscriptions and all that stuff. Now the stock is up to 173. That's incredible. How they've shifted
someone should make the MGR recommendation portfolio and just keep track of it. Because if over the last couple of years you had listened to all the things that I said that people should buy, your portfolio would be up quite a bit, okay?
That's only if you also didn't listen to the things that he fucked up.
No. Because listen, I fully admit the things that I got wrong. And, I'll give one.
You didn't advise us about the Starbucks coffee coming to $5 for the same coffee they were buying last year for $3.
No, that's inflation. I don't think anybody should be surprised by it. But by the way, according to Jay Powell this week, there is no inflation, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I know. Not even next
He also
couple
said,
years.
did you hear? He said, this is like...
Jerome.
We're in... I don't know what planet we're on. He says, well, there's no inflation, and rates are going to stay at zero. So when he's talking about... Because they asked him about asset prices, especially on the market. And he says, so really, I mean, price to earnings doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah. I know.
He says valuations don't mean anything.
I know.
What are we on, fucking Mars?
Okay, well...
Anyway, sorry. Back to the streaming
I had another comment on valuations that I was going to make later, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, so streaming. So back to your dilemma.
That printer rolling, baby.
I know. Back to your dilemma. It's all of a sudden the sports, the NBA starts next week. That's the basic thing. And so the only way you can watch your local team, whether it's the Suns here or your local team.
So I don't want you, just like you, we're in Phoenix, and there's only 2 cable providers here. There's Cox and Centurylink. CenturyLink has the cable internet, I should say. CenturyLink's internet is horrible.
Oh, the internet, yeah.
Cox actually has good internet. Cox cable is a fucking ripoff. It's like $150 a month, and you don't even get a lot of other things. Like, for example, for me, I like NBA TV. You don't even get that. You have to pay extra for that, things like that. So it's a horrible ripoff. So YouTube TV, great solution. Awesome. I'll get rid of Cox.
$65.
Get YouTube TV. It used to be 45. Now it's 65. They raised the price. But then, listen, I don't watch TV. The only thing I watch on TV is sports. Like, I don't watch fucking cable television. I mean, I don't even know what shows are on TV anymore. I don't watch any TV. The only thing I watch is like ESPN and then like local Fox Sports. In our case, because I watch the Suns games and they're on Fox Sports Arizona. Well, YouTube TV all of a sudden decided to stop carrying Fox Sports Arizona.
No, they didn't decide it. That was Fox that told them you cannot have it anymore.
They mutually did not come to an agreement.
Okay, yeah.
It'll
be to the best interest of YouTube to continue.
When
but
they
Fox
previously had. Yeah, but you know what? YouTube TV raises their price $20 a month and then removes things from it. So they their service 50% more expensive while making it less good. So I don't like that. So now
but nobody does. Also, I mean.
And then Hulu stopped carrying it also, and the only one who carries it is AT&T Now or something like that, which is like $80 a month, and it's like, I don't know. But then. This is what I want. This is what I want. Fox Sports. Okay. They have their fee to all these cable networks. That's like whatever, $6-7 a month that they charge. And that's why YouTube TV didn't want to pay $7 a month for Fox.
Yeah.
Fine. Fox. I don't want to pay $80 a month for AT&T Now when the only reason I'm getting it is because I want to watch the fucking Suns games.
Well, but the same thing happens to any local sports.
Or other things. But
right.
My point is, Fox, we're in a DTC streaming world now. Just let me pay you your $7 a month fee so I can watch the Suns games. And this goes for anybody, wherever region
but that's what they
you
call
live
it,
in.
bundle, because they want you to buy more
but Fox
stuff.
doesn't care about AT&T's bottom line. Fox Sports just cares about getting their fees. And if I'm saying, hey, I'll pay you the $7 a month directly, I don't want to pay $80 a month for some service.
But don't you think that if Cox, in this case, who also charges you a local sports surcharge of about $9 a month, which covers that, don't you think that they also have some kind of exclusivity saying, okay, we agreed to carry you and charge extra $8 or $9 to our customers in exchange for you not doing this on your own? It's almost like in retail. In retail, you can say,
I don't know what
when
their
you become a
agreements
distributor,
are.
it's like, okay, you're not going to undercut us and then sell the same service yourselves.
I don't know what their agreements are, but they do it. If they're on multiple networks or multiple providers, I don't think they have any exclusivity.
With a cable operator, I mean, it goes by different. I don't know what happens in our cities, so how the contracts go. I do not know that, but they may have Cox Arizona basically may say, okay, for the Suns we have this,
but they didn't. They don't have exclusivity. I mean, last season there were there were like 4 providers that had it, and now it's only Cox because the other ones like dropped it basically.
Yeah, but it's like NBA TV. You cannot watch any game that if I want to watch the Chicago Bulls or something, unless it's a nationally televised game, I cannot watch it. I need to subscribe to NBA TV to get.
Well,
that package.
In that case, yeah. So obviously, if you live in a place. Like, if I moved out of Phoenix and I wanted to watch Suns games, I'd have to get, like, League Pass or something to watch it.
Yeah,
but that's the other thing. League Pass, because of the pandemic, they raised their prices, and now the main package is $40 a month.
I know.
That's fucking crazy.
Who pays? I mean, where people are unemployed, 800 more people.
I mean, I love basketball. Literally, the only sport I watch is basketball. I don't watch other sports. But $40 a month is insane.
I think that they should break it down.
I want someone to make the all sports package, and it's like $15 a month, and you get ESPN and all the local. You can choose whatever your local channel is. That's what I want. I happily pay that.
But why don't they I understand why League Pass or the NBA, who basically cares about their fans,
but even
they should have a local package saying, okay,
they do, but it's not cheap, man. It's like $20 a month
just to your team games,
just for one team.
Okay, well, how many $20 a month? Okay, well,
I'm probably gonna end up just paying that one.
Well, how much?
I think it's
how
18
many,
or 19.
Okay, well, let's divide it up. How many games does the average basketball team play in a month? Like 12 or so? Like 3 a week, or?
Yeah. I mean.
Okay, so you're paying $2 a game or less.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, man.
Oh, dude, if you go to a sports bar, you're gonna pay $30
No,
just on a
I
beer
know.
tap.
I hate getting fucked. Okay, it's not the money. I can afford fucking $18 a month.
Yeah,
to
I know.
pay
They
it.
don't give you a choice.
But
know.
I hate that they kind of fuck you like this, and then especially when you subscribe to YouTube TV specifically for that, and then they pull
No,
it
I
out.
agree. I mean, I don't watch. I mean, you don't watch Netflix. That's probably what the streaming service that I watch the most. Which, by the way, they just increased the prices too. It was announced a while ago, but it's effective in January. I think they increased $1 for the service. But yeah, I don't watch broadcast TV for the most part, or almost anything. I only watch sports, like you. Like maybe sometimes a little bit of football on weekends, whatever. But for the most part, like the traditional evening watching TV, I never watch local news. I never watch local TV shows, series, whatever. I have no clue who's the masked singer or whatever shows they have these
Right.
days.
So the only thing I watch is ESPN
Right. Me too.
and like sports channels, just because I like basketball and stuff like that. But I was thinking, yeah, I'll probably just get the Disney Plus ESPN package, whatever that one is. That's like $13 a month or something, and you get Disney, Hulu,
the
and
combined?
ESPN.
Yeah. The Disney
was
alone
thinking,
is six,
I'll just get that one.
$7, and then they have Disney, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
That's the other
combined.
thing. Do you use the ESPN app at all?
The app?
Yeah.
No.
All the articles are paywalled now. You need ESPN
Oh,
Plus.
really?
Yeah, there's like NBA, like Zach Lowe articles that I used to read, and
Yeah.
Kevin Arnovitz, who
I
are
only
like
use it to see
NBA
scores.
writers. And I'll go,
Yeah.
and they're all paywalled now. They
Yeah.
all want you to get ESPN
Well,
Plus.
I use ESPN. I mean, I only watch ESPN for F1, for Formula One.
Right, and you were saying the same thing, that
Right.
like F1 has their own
App.
monthly subscription,
Right.
and it's ridiculously expensive.
It's very expensive. They have their own app and their own subscription, and you get all the races with multiple camera angles, views on board for every driver. I mean, you can do everything you want, but it's expensive. And so right now, for the last 2 years or 3, I don't know, since Liberty Media bought out Formula One, basically all the rights, basically became the chairman. ESPN has been broadcasting all the races or rebroadcasting the Sky Sports from Europe, commercial free. So it's like great. I mean, you watch the races with no commercials, qualifying, all that shit. Unfortunately, sometimes they are on ESPN Plus or ESPN 3 or some kind of ESPN that we don't get, other than the 1 and 2 or the normal and the 2. So that's the only thing that is a challenge. But yeah, I mean, I use ESPN mostly for F1, and and it hasn't been always F1. I mean, ESPN. I'm sorry, before it was like Speed TV, and before it was Fox. I think. I mean, it's been all over the place. So, but for sports, yeah, I like sports. I mean, I like the Disney, Hulu, ESPN or something. Maybe that's another option. But the question is, when you start adding all these individual services, we say cable is a ripoff, but at the same time, it's like you add 65 for YouTube, and then you have Netflix on top of that, and maybe your portion of Amazon Prime, and then you get like, I don't know, you get like a Hulu, Disney Plus, and then Apple TV Plus has their own. You add up all the fees, and you're not paying also $130 a month.
How much is HBO Max? Can you look it up?
HBO Max is part of the AT&T thing. I don't know what is independent, but with the AT&T,
That's the other thing that's confusing, because AT&T owns DirecTV,
yeah,
and Warner and AT&T merged.
Yeah.
And so now DirecTV, HBO Max, like it's very confusing.
Yeah.
Are they all? Can you get like an all-in-one thing? Or
well, they have AT&T TV Now, which with HBO Max included, and that's between 55 and 80. I don't know the differences. I mean, I can look it up.
But
right
how
now
much is
it's-
HBO Max by itself?
I don't know.
Can you look it up real quick?
I don't know how much is.
Because that's the one actually. Now that they announced that they're gonna put all their movies on there, it's actually not a bad deal. Because if you go to see them, I mean,
Well, oh, you mean because the movies are going to go
yeah,
streaming?
because they're gonna put all the movies on their streaming service.
But
and
it's just HBO.
HBO Max.
No, I know, but
It's all the Warner movies, Warner Brothers, and all those.
Okay, it says 6 months, 20% off. Okay, it costs $14.99 a month. 15,
Really, that's it?
$15.
That's cheap, man. I mean, because think about
If
it.
you watch a lot of movies.
Yeah, but
I mean, I don't know. When was the last time I watched HBO? at home, and we pay for it. We pay about $16.
But is that Max or regular?
This is Max, HBO Max.
Yeah, but they're gonna have all their new movies, all the Warner Brother movies. Like the first one
But
is
you don't
Wonder
pay
Woman.
anything on top of that.
No,
Okay. Well.
that's cheap. I mean, going to movie theater is gonna cost you $20.
Yeah. If
So
that's
for
the ca- I thought it
$15 a
was-
month, they give you all the new movies. That one's actually the best deal out of all of them, really.
if you're a movie watcher, I mean, you like watching movies.
I
When
mean,
they
the
come
movie
out and all that
theaters are
stuff.
fucked. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I love theaters, but man, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
certain. I just think that movie theaters are gonna have to go so much more niche now. Like, I think the megaplexes are done. I think they're gonna have because there's just lots of movies that I probably wouldn't watch in a theater that I don't really care about watching in a theater.
Yeah. I just don't know why.
Like, I mean, do you need to go see like, I don't know, like any movie that's not
I don't know. I only go to movie
a
theaters these
major
days.
production
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
That's
like-
just like a dialogue heavy movie.
Exactly.
I can watch that at home. I don't need to go to a theater for
Right.
that.
Like I a long time ago, I decided to go to movie theaters only for the big production
Spectacle movies.
Yeah, like sound effects and things like the
But
Star
if it's
Wars
if it's just like a dialogue heavy movie,
like if it's a romantic comedy thing or any other movie that is just dialogue or just I'm
Right.
not a big production, then frankly just watching it at home is just the same or better,
like I just rewatched Lady Bird. Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
a great movie. But that's the type of movie that's like that came out in theaters, right? It's like I don't need to see that in theaters.
No.
It was fine at home. It was good.
All this,
and it's
like,
just
all this
people
kind
talking.
of like stories and all the stuff doesn't matter. I mean, only the big like that's what happened back in the 70s and 80s when TV went from black and white to color, and then everybody said, "Oh, we're not going to a movie theaters," and then they started getting all these what they call catastrophe
Well,
movies.
the advantage
the
before was-
earthquake and the airports and the Towering Inferno and all that stuff, because they were movies that they were trying to attract you to a big screen and surround sound and all these things. It was just because of that, because they started competing with normal TV.
But the
because it was
advantage
color.
before was just okay. Yeah, if you don't mind waiting 3 months, fine, you can watch
Right.
it at home. But if
No,
you
I
want to
mean,
watch a movie
but even now-
but
if-
now that on HBO Max, they're gonna drop it at the same time.
Yeah, you can also find the same movies with for more money, as we've experienced ourselves with Apple or even Amazon Prime. They have movies that are theater release that they call now whatever.
right,
premiere.
right. That's Amazon, but
No, and
typical.
Apple too. I mean, they different. Like which one we saw, the Invisible Man?
Yeah, but that's this year because of
Right.
the pandemic. I'm saying before the pandemic.
oh, before you had to wait.
You had to wait.
Right.
And I'm saying now, who's gonna go see like if a Lady Bird type movie comes out in theaters and on HBO Max, who's gonna go to theaters for that?
I mean, some people just go to the theaters to get out of their house, and they
Yeah, fair
like
enough,
the
but-
experience of sitting down with their popcorn and their soda and all that, the movie experience, not just the actual movie itself, but just the fact that they are going out. I don't know. I mean, I used to like to go to a movies when I was little. I mean, I went to a film career for that matter. I spent hours in movie theaters.
Your degree worked out great.
Yeah, it worked out great. That's why I'm doing internet marketing now. It's just perfect tangent.
Yeah.
But
From working on Blair Witch
Yeah.
to making websites for Marriott, that's quite the divergence.
yeah, exactly. I could have. That's why I keep saying too that whatever you study today doesn't matter, because you will work on something else. So decide your college career very carefully, because it doesn't matter. You're gonna be doing something different. No, but anyways, back to this thing. So we have Netflix, which
Did you
cost.
watch the Blair Witch 2 that came out like a couple years
No,
ago?
fuck no, that was much later. I didn't even work in the first one. The first
Well,
one,
you kind of did a little bit.
No, I was part of the group that was with the director, as I said, Ed Sanchez. I
don't think you've ever told this story on the podcast.
No, I don't
Back,
think I did.
he was in Maryland in film school with the
Yeah.
creators of Blair Witch.
Yeah, the director. He was in my class. We were actually buddies. We were doing projects together, and we actually did a preview for the movie before the movie was even shot.
Right.
And then I moved out and other stuff. And then when they actually shot it, they called me and I said, hey, I'm doing something else.
What happened to Ed Sanchez? He never really had a career after that. I thought that he was supposed to be the next one up, remember?
Next Spielberg.
I
he wanted to be
Blair Witch was like a big deal
Yeah.
when it came out, remember?
Yeah, but unfortunately, because it was such a low budget that they didn't make a lot of money, obviously, with the first one.
Right. I don't. Most
Yeah.
first
The
movies don't
studios-
make a lot
the
of money.
studios did, yeah.
But That's
got a lot of
the
recognition.
career launching
Yeah.
pad.
No, obviously he hasn't. I don't know.
He's like
I need to go on Facebook. And
He's
see
like
what
a North Korean rocket. Like, it looks great as it launches, but then 5 minutes later, it's in the ocean.
Well, that happened to Tesla too, a little too. So, all right. So
Sorry, Ed.
price wise, Netflix we're paying up to 15, 18, depending on your rate. Prime Video is about $13 a month. You just get that aside from all the stuff. Peacock, which is the new one, I don't know that name, but that one is the cheapest. It's about free unless you say commercial free, and then it's not free anymore. Then you pay $10 a month. ESPN Plus, $6 a month. Disney Plus by itself, $7 a month. HBO Max, actually I had it here. Where did I look for it? $15, $14.99. CBS All Access.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's a great one. It's like I want zero access to CBS, but for the
They
all
had
access.
that. They relaunched Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone with
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Yeah.
what's his name? Peele. Jordan Peele?
Yeah.
From the creator of Get Out and all those
Yeah.
movies, and it was not good.
I know.
It totally flopped.
I know.
canceled
Anyways,
it.
you want all access to CBS, which is I don't know, maybe
you get access to Big Bang Theory, which is still to this day the worst, most popular show I've ever seen. I don't understand anybody who likes that show.
I know people who love it.
Actually terrible.
I don't know. I tried to love
it.
it.
I've watched many episodes trying to watch it, and I cannot watch it.
Yeah, I know. It's not
so
my
bad.
type of show either. But CBS has all the CSIs and all these sort of things
great.
that people love. And then Apple TV is $5 a month.
Well,
so
you want to do a little transition?
do what?
Speaking of CSI Miami, everybody's moving to Miami.
Well,
what a transition that was.
Yeah, that's a segue.
CSI Miami is the best CSI, by the way. There's no debate about that.
Do they have that one still?
No, I don't think it still
that
goes.
was with Caruso, I think.
Yes, that was the best. That CSI Miami was the best one.
The worst for me was LA.
Which one was that?
With what's his name? The actor. LA Cool J.
No, that was NCIS. It's different. That was
serious?
NCIS Los Angeles. Yes, I'm up to date on my crime series.
Okay. So this initial CSI Los Angeles. Was that with?
That was with LL Cool J, that weird old lady.
Yeah, the other actor guy. What's his name?
I forget.
Anyways, I used to watch those a long time ago.
No, you know what the best show out of all of them was? The Unit.
Oh yeah,
The Unit was the
good.
best one.
Yeah, The Unit was good.
That was always my favorite. I always liked The Unit.
Dennis
that one I feel
Haysbert,
like went under the radar.
I like The Unit. Yeah, the families of the that's kind of like it's almost like watching David Goggins and all these guys doing their lives, risking their lives, and then they have a wife that they only see once a year.
Which streaming service has The Unit? I'll pay for that one.
They were repeating it somewhere. I forgot. All these shows. It's funny how the best shows are the ones that no longer exist. Do you even know what shows are on TV these days?
I have no idea.
Like,
I watched one the other day, or not the other day, but a few months ago. It was some hospital show on CBS, like a hospital comedy.
Oh, comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It was so bad. I couldn't, honestly, I couldn't believe how bad it was.
I remember
it was like CBS prime time, like 8 p.m.
I know, but I remember
it was so bad.
I remember back in the days when watching like Sunday football or whatever shows on Fox and CBS or whatever. That was like prime time for them to promote their fall season shows and new shows. And I remember when I was like 24, like season 1, 2, 3.
24 was great.
I know. I was looking at that show. It's like, oh my god, 24, and it was like always like it went too fast. Like now, I wouldn't even fucking watch 24 because with so many commercial breaks, like boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh fuck, it was an hour show. And
My favorite season. Which was your favorite season? 24. My favorite was the one when there was like some African terrorist group or something that came to the White House, and
I don't know. Yeah,
I remember that one. That was my favorite one.
I kind of the last couple of seasons were a stretch, but in the beginning, they're all kind of getting better and better. But anyways, they're promoting the shows, and you have something to look forward to. Saying, oh man, this fall season starts this and this and these other shows, and now I'm watching like football the other day, and And I see this show with what's the name of the show with 911 or something with Rob Lowe and
Yeah, the Rob Lowe one. So I watched a little bit of that one.
Oh, did you?
Because there were so many promos for it.
I know. It's like I don't give a fuck.
It's terrible.
Like, I know.
I mean, I'm sorry, Rob Lowe. I like the guy. I cannot take him seriously as like a firefighter.
No, but it's like I said,
unit leader.
When the preview,
chief.
When the preview and the teaser looks cheap
It's
and
so bad.
It's like how's
Even
the show
the
gonna
logo
Yeah.
looks terrible.
And it looks like so CGI and so fake, and the explosions and the fires, and then they have these crossovers where the fire people meet with the hospital show, and oh man, it's
It's terrible.
now it's like
I don't know who
watches
this
that
thing.
stuff. And then,
I really don't
anyways,
know.
All right, so yeah, Miami. You were talking Miami.
So
I was
CSI
going to
Miami.
discuss briefly. How much are we at? Okay, we're going to wrap it up soon. But this is like the all episode. But one thing that I was also we also had a conversation here about the California exodus. How everybody's leaving California, and more people are actually leaving now. More and more people that we know, famous people, companies, and so forth. So I know that Oracle basically already said we're actually leaving for Austin in this case. And then the CEO of Oracle, Larry Ellison, he actually decided to move to Hawaii because he says, okay, well, I'm not going to Austin, I need beach.
He says, I'm going to go live
Right.
in my tropical paradise.
Right.
You guys can go to Austin.
He had pretty good mansions, which I think he still has in, California beaches and side by side. He basically owned sections of beach. But he said, okay, well, I'm going to do the same thing in Hawaii now. So in Hawaii, he's fine. But, I mean, there's people now moving to Miami. Miami is incredibly...
Okay, I've never been big into Miami. It's never really been a city that attracted me. But I'll say this.
You need to be Cuban to like it.
I never looked at... Well, I speak Spanish. I never looked at the real estate in Miami. I had no idea what the prices in Miami were. I was looking, I'm a single guy, so I just, would look for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. And I was like, all right, let's see what they cost there. A 1-bed, 1-bathroom in Miami that's like 5 minutes from Miami Beach, it's like $1,200 a month. I couldn't believe it. And then if you want to live in one of the nice high rises overlooks the beach and then downtown Miami, I mean, it's not that expensive. It was like $1,800 a month.
Yeah.
It's like $1,800 a month, and you live in like paradise over there. I couldn't believe it. Here's the two biggest things.
It looks better in pictures than in person.
Here's the two biggest things I have against Miami personally. One, just the humidity is insane.
Yeah, for anybody that comes from Arizona.
All these people are moving in the winter to Miami. Just wait until the summer, okay? It's going to be brutal.
But honestly, I mean, let me just make a point on that because I've been in different areas of the country living, like Northeast. I've been in Miami, now the East Coast, everywhere, Texas, West Coast, whatever. Honestly, there's humidity everywhere. You go to Houston,
except here.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
I mean,
But
here we
here,
have like
I mean,
we feel like 20-30% humidity, and we're like, oh my god, that's in the monsoon season.
Right, but it's
normally we have like 10.
But the heat is blistering here, man.
Right.
I mean, when it's 115 in the summer, I mean, you can't do anything.
You go to Washington, D.C., Virginia in the summer, you're
I
only
know.
75, 80, and you have like 90% humidity.
I know.
You're freaking sweating bullets
But
there.
but let me say,
maybe not bullets, but sweating.
the other thing that I don't like about Miami, the big one, is hurricanes.
Yeah.
I feel like this isn't talked about enough with all these people moving to Miami. It's like that is hurricane central. I mean, they're right at the tip. They are the bullseye target for every single hurricane that comes. I don't know I've never lived in a hurricane zone, so I don't know. What happens when you live there and all of a sudden they're like, okay, we need to evacuate the city? Because doesn't that happen?
Yeah, I mean, you evacuate. I mean, if you are in the eye of the storm, obviously, then you evacuate. If the hurricane or whatever is going X amount of miles this way or that way off your target, basically, they tell you expect heavy rains, heavy winds, but it doesn't get to evacuation mode. Only in some rural areas that are more fragile. In the main city, they may not evacuate if you live in a big building or something that is protected. It's like a big storm, But yeah, I mean, that's a risk. I mean, and the thing is that you never know because they are. I mean, it's not like it's on rails. Hurricanes kind of divert routes and they have this path and all that stuff. So Yeah, there's a risk. Not just Miami. I mean, Louisiana and all the Gulf Coast and all that is risky. But to be honest, I mean, I was in. I remember in Cape Hatteras in North Carolina when one of those hurricanes kind of started veering up the coast, and by then it lost strength. I don't know the numbers now, but it was a pretty strong one, and then it went almost to Category 1 or a tropical storm or something, and it was still fucking pouring rain, windy shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, pouring rain I can deal with.
I
I
know.
mean, like when it starts tearing apart houses. That's when.
Yeah, but
Or
that,
flooding the city.
yeah, I know. I mean, it's always a risk. Yeah, and we experienced that ourselves. I mean, you have clients that are hotels and resorts in that area, and they basically had to shut down and all that stuff. But yeah, you're gonna deal with that stuff, you know. California mudslides and fires and shit and hurricanes, and you go midwestern states, you have like tornadoes and all that stuff. Just stay in Arizona, dude. It gets hot as hell here in the summer. But
Yeah, but the nice thing, like I said, I don't think there's anywhere else in the country that you can be that close to such a beautiful beach for such a low price. I mean, an apartment in right by a beautiful beach in California is going to be quadruple the price.
I mean, it's impossible. Yeah, California has become unlivable. I mean, you can visit, not even now. I mean, normally we actually go in the winter, but now it's impossible. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. All right. So you're going to Miami?
No.
Oh, okay. So were you teasing us for nothing?
No, I just saw it and I was like, wow.
All right. So let me ask you: you were to move to another city, where would you go?
How well off am I?
No. If they say, David, you have to move out of Phoenix or the Phoenix area, and you can choose, but you have to move out. Which city in the U.S. would you choose?
I mean, Texas is nice. Less taxes. It's nice. Texas is not that different from Phoenix. Like I don't think Austin and Dallas and those cities are that different from Phoenix. Just less taxes, which is fine.
State income taxes, but you have other taxes that kind of.
I wouldn't do it now. I need to see how things ride out over the next couple of years. But I still love LA. I still love to live in LA. I just need to see how things ride out over the next couple of years.
They're not going to ride out anywhere. You're going to live in between the homeless that are everywhere now.
Well, like I said, we'll see how things ride out. I don't live there now, so...
You think it's going to get better?
Think...
Or hope.
Think is different. I would hope it gets better. But yeah, right now, LA doesn't look great. No,
it doesn't.
But it's still, I mean, of all the places in the country, as far as, because I'm from here, from Phoenix, so I can't do cold. I can't live in a place where it's super cold. So I just can't do it. And I also,
that takes off half of the country.
I love the sun. I love sunny weather. So I like the majority of my days to be sunny weather. So that pretty much does not leave a whole lot of options. And the best of them is LA, frankly. As far as, forget the local government, just purely geography, location. LA is fucking beautiful.
Why don't you go to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I don't want to live in Puerto Rico. Talk about hurricanes. Are you kidding me? Those guys get blasted every 2 weeks with a hurricane.
Well, it's different. I mean, you have big tax.
And I don't want to live in the middle of nowhere, okay? LA is great. I just, for right now, I'm keeping an eye, you know?
Keep an eye.
But that would be my number one choice. But again, it's
well, if money is an issue, you know, the stimulus the government that is trying to pass with a deadline, I think before Friday. Today is Thursday. They're still dickering around with the thing. I don't know how people can have conversations and negotiations for fucking 4 months of our stimulus. I don't care one way they pass it or not or whatever. It's just a political thing. But it's like, for Christ's sake, these guys have been discussing the stimulus since way, way, way before the election. And they say, oh, there's no way it's going to be passing maybe before the election, maybe right after the election. And now it's like, the election is like over for a month and a half. And we're still now, they're going to go on vacation and they still have no stimulus. It's like, can we just get that out on news? Just when you guys do it, just do it and stop having that on the headlines for every day.
It's politics.
How much is to discuss? Seriously, how can 2 people or 20 people or whatever sit on the table and say, okay, we agree on this much, we disagree on this much, and we have this in common. Let's just work out a compromise. Does it take fucking 6 months?
If you're a politician,
I
it could
don't
take forever.
fucking get it. Seriously, I mean, this guy's talking about splitting the difference. They don't split fucking nothing. Anyways, that's a good way to end the podcast, I think. Anything else, David?
No. The unit airing Friday nights on CBS.
Yeah, by the next podcast, which will
CBS
be...
All Access. If you want to sponsor us, I will push all of your different shows. NCIS Los Angeles, The Unit, all the back in the day, CBS had some good shows, but they've fallen off. Your doctor shows are terrible. Get rid of them, okay?
I couldn't, Bob, I couldn't even name, forget about CBS, I couldn't even name what main shows are for each network today. Like evening shows. Like, remember when Thursday used to be for NBC, it was like
stuff like The Office and Parks
and
Rec.
They called it like Comedy Thursday or something.
Yeah.
They had all these comedy shows back to back. And what was that, Blackish 2 or something? And
that was ABC.
Oh, that was ABC. ABC. It had Modern Family, Blackish, and something else. It was like shows back to back, comedy type things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least before I had some kind of show identity. Now I couldn't even name one show. I mean, I could be next to the winner of the Face Masked Singer or whatever they call him, and I couldn't even know who the fuck it is.
Oh, the mask. That is the.
I don't know.
That is.
It's like,
when I see that show, when I see promos
masked,
for that show,
the Masked
I think, I mean,
Singer.
and that show gets massive ratings.
I know, but even The Voice and all those.
That show, The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
I think it says everything you need to know about America.
I know.
The fact that it gets such huge ratings.
But even to me, it was the same thing with...
It's so horrible.
It was the same thing with The Voice and all these other ones.
But The Masked Singer, I mean... I couldn't... If you told me, David, you're in charge of trolling the public and making the most moronic show you can possibly think of, I don't think I could think of something dumber than The Masked Singer. And it has millions and millions of viewers. So
I'm sure they do. I see promos all the time.
That is, I think, if anything represents the fall of our democracy, it's The Masked Singer.
No, it's the fall of our intellectual level, coming to the lowest common denominator for sure. How people can sit in front of the TV.
If you watch The Masked Singer,
don't listen to us.
You should probably. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. Politically incorrect, maybe. All right, guys. Well, no, that's all we have for today. Before David puts his foot in his mouth. If you
watch The Masked Singer, they should. I think it should be a secret project that they say, okay, we're going to find out all the viewers of The Masked Singer, and then all these people, you are no longer allowed to vote in elections. I'm sorry. You have been removed from eligibility, okay?
Not even with a fake ballot. Okay, that's all we have for today. We'll be back next week. I think next week is kind of funky because we have Christmas Eve on Thursday, I think. So we'll see what we do in the next couple of weeks because it's the same thing for New Year's. I wanted to do like a recap show of our highlights of the year, which is always kind of fun. Even though this year has been so fucking low
lots of highlights this year.
Yeah, this year has been a lot of highlights. But we'll see. We'll think about it. That's it again. And please share this show or any portions of it with any friend. We're actually increasing our subscribers. We're looking only for 1,000 true fans, to be honest, and we're already at 870 something or almost 900 subscribers. I expect to reach the millennium. The 1,000 before the end of the year, but we're growing. It's just we subscribing is a little different. A lot of people I know are watching sections because I see the stats. But either way, just share it with somebody if you like it. If not, appreciate your watching. Okay, that's it for today. Mr. David. All right, well, have a great weekend, and we'll talk next week. Bye bye.